Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. It's week 18. Green Bay Packers are at home against the Chicago Bears. We were hoping to maybe secure the 6th seed with the win today over the Bears, but Chicago had a different thing in mind, and we lost the game at the last second to a Santos field goal after 55-yarder of our own with from McManus. But Ren, this game, we all thought this was probably going to go a certain way, and then it didn't. So talk to me about this game, Ren. What was your first takeaway? But didn't go as planned, did it?
Not for the 12th in a row, no. So I think we're all feeling a little down. I sent our friend south of the border, Joey, a little Happy New Year message today. So it is what it is. Happy New Year, Pup List. We're starting out with the first loss of the Bears since, 2018, Tay?
Yeah, back in the day.
You want to roll into the postseason with some momentum, feeling good about yourself. There's really nothing about this game you can take away from it and go, I feel good about this team going to Philly next week. So I don't know, Tay. I mean, it started point one. It started terrible. That snap goes high on Danny, and thankfully he makes an amazing recovery and gets that thing off, and they pin the Bears back, and the defense starts out really hot. I thought the defense throughout the most part of the game played pretty well, obviously, until that final little drive, allowing Cairo to actually finally beat the Packers in Lambeau and anywhere for the first time in 6 years. So again, you see then from there, Tay, you get a Christian Watson non-contact injury. That's never good. Yeah. He's holding his knee, goes off on a cart. Here's a guy you need in the playoffs, in the postseason. Not even if he's catching balls, but just keep the defense on the other side, respecting what you can do with that deep ball and allowing them to play off that in general. And I think they're not going to have that. The hands were awful today, Tay. Jayden Reed, I don't know if he had Vaseline on when he started the game, but, balls were just slipping. The Packers give up, 2 turnovers on the day, just killing drives. The offense was massively conservative by LaFleur once again. Nothing you want to see. You wanted to see him jump out to a big lead, easy against the Bears, get Malik and company in the second half, and just kind of coast to 7 seed, 6 seed, doesn't really matter. You get into the postseason and that's it. But I didn't see anything good. Jordan's got an elbow issue. Special teams, man. Woof Tay. Should they have went for it when they were in the Bears territory on that first one? Because that happens right after. It's one of those things. I mean, the game's still, it's early, game's tight. Go for it, probably. But, the whole thing was just a disjointed mess. And you couldn't ask for a worse way to start your postseason run, Tay.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And that's probably the biggest point to me is you guys look like crap today. It didn't look good. It didn't feel good. I was flip-flopping for a long time. I was listening to the game. I pulled a Ren. I listened to it driving back from up north. But I was listening to it, and Wayne Larrivee and The Rock weren't really criticizing the Packers too much during the whole thing. They were just kind of giving, a straight-up play-by-play analysis. But I was just like, they don't seem like they wanted this one at all. They came out flat. They couldn't really do much on offense. So to me, it was like, oh man, this is not what you wanted. And I was listening to Matt afterwards, and he's like, well, yeah, the plan was to go up early and then start pulling guys. Well, you gotta go up early first, get that done. But they could not, and the Bears had a different plan, and they obviously played better than us in the first quarter to put us in that position. And then you get, Jordan Love coming out and Malik Willis coming in, which personally I think everyone that's been listening to this knows I don't mind really. If you don't need, you don't need Love on this game really, but he's injured. Take him out. I think they were scared after Watson went out. Let's not push Love too much and get him back in the game. LaFleur said he doesn't like doing that, taking a guy out, putting him back in, all that stuff. But Malik Willis, I think, held his own for the most part for, kind of coming off the bench again. But yeah, this team to me just is okay, do you guys want this or not? Do you want to have momentum like last year going into the playoffs or not? Do you want to shove this win down the Bears' throat or not? And it was just kind of I guess it's or not. And then you, again, in classic Packer fashion, wait till the end of the game to do a little bit more to make it even. And then obviously the McManus field goal at the end was amazing, 55-yard in the wintertime, crazy. But then the defense couldn't stop him to get him in field goal range for Santos. Just so yeah, you don't feel good about this at all. Like this isn't. Yeah, you wanted to win over the Bears, of course, but I know it didn't matter. I don't personally care, 6 seed, 7 seed, whatever. That doesn't bother me. But going into the playoffs now, kind of feeling like, are you inadequate? At this point, like, do you have what it takes to roll the Eagles next week? And the question is, the answer is, I don't know. So to me, it's just that's what's disappointing here, and I think you hit it on the head too. Yeah, of course there were some bright spots. There were Carrington Valentine was great.
The Malik Heath catch, I guess
Malik
you can throw that one in there. I don't think either quarterback was sharp today. I didn't see much from Jordan. I didn't see much. Malik was getting flustered back there.
Yeah.
The offense couldn't move the ball at all. I don't know. I didn't see much from the offense. The Bears only had 15 yards, I think, in the first half offensively today. It was really just the Packers.
Wow, special teams. Yeah.
And the Packers kind of looking like the Bears offense looks, and the Bears offense looking like the Bears until they finally didn't that last drive to get them the W.
Yeah. So yeah, are we whiny Packers fans? Well, not necessarily. Not when you're used to greatness, right? We're used to playing better than this, and the Packers are capable of playing better than that, especially at the end of the year when the game necessarily doesn't matter to you, but playing as a cohesive unit and getting ready for the playoffs does. And I don't think that box did not get checked today.
No.
And I feel that's what I'm disappointed about. And that's where we're coming from when we're complaining about this, because it doesn't really matter. But in the end, when you're trying to get momentum, it does. And so how do you do that? You kind of have not short week, but you got to turn this around quickly with confidence and the momentum just to get them back ready. I mean, now we're come full circle around. We're playing the Eagles, and can you do this? I don't know. This is going to be tough. We're going to have to look into this and see what, how the Eagles have been doing this year. And it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, well, again, the offense has had a hard time all year getting off to a fast start. And the way the play calling's been down the stretch today and the offense's inability to move the football, that's exactly what they're going to need to do against Philadelphia to have a chance. But I think if you take the temperature of Packer universe this week, there's not going to be a lot of overconfidence going out to Philly.
No. Yeah, a couple bright spots. You have a couple turnovers. You gave up some, they gave up some, but just I don't know. Just the offense is what worries me, right? I mean, can you totally put it on the last drive of the defense to hold the team back? That's not necessarily fair. But you got
to rise up, Tay. You got to win that football game.
And it always seems like there's always a couple penalties to point at. That Enagbare one, though, was pretty bad. Horse collar tackle.
Yeah, he should not have done it,
and that's what you can't do. Like John Kuhn on the radio call was like, that's the one thing you couldn't do is take a penalty there.
Push him to the sideline. He was already headed that way anyway.
And that's one guy, one play. I get it, but is that the type of vibe you got going on here in the postseason? Making mistakes like that? That worries me.
Mistakes will lose you football games, and there were a lot of them in this one, Tay. I'll tell you that.
Yep. So, you got our kicking game on, but the rest of the special teams was well below average today. So you got to worry about that a little bit. So let me ask you one question here about the game. Like, generally speaking, do you think the Packers would have won or done better on offense if they had Love in the whole time, even if they were taking guys like Josh Jacobs out?
I think they would have been better off with Jordan in the game, 100%. Yeah, I think they have even that intermediate passing game. I think it's just much more effective with Jordan on the field. I would have much rather had Jordan on the field. I think they could have potentially scored more points in the second half. But again, it just comes down to the offense with Jordan in the first half when they couldn't do that. But
yeah, and
it is what it is.
you have Watson coming out. You have Romeo Dobbs with an illness, not able to play today, so you don't have your full deck of cards here with the wide receivers. You have a Luke Musgrave sighting for 1 for 19, beautiful catch. That was the one that was challenged, and Matt LaFleur got one this year
Finally,
for the
after
first time.
0 for 6 today, yeah, he finally gets one. That was like the highlight of Twitter
the first half.
In the first half, yeah.
Okay. So, wide receiver core, you're looking for that to be whole going into the playoffs, and I just don't. The Watson thing doesn't look good. I would be doubtful. I didn't hear anything about it at all, except that Matt LaFleur kind of said, I'm not confident in it. That's all he said. Whether that was, I'm not confident in telling you about it, or I'm not confident in the injury, but that looks not good. And so my suspicion is that you're not going to get Watson maybe at all this year anymore based on that. And hopefully Romeo comes back because you need him. Obviously, Heath showed up with a crucial catch in the fourth quarter. Love that. Melton didn't do much today on his handoffs even. Wicks was better. He's getting those. But Reed, it's like everybody's got to be on, and that's obviously worried about that.
Yep. There's a lot of things to worry about today. That's all we can really get to be at the end point here. I mean, obviously a non-contact knee injury, it always speaks and screams ACL or MCL or both. It's just not a good situation.
So I don't have too much more on this game, Ren. It's just that it's not how you wanted to end the season. That's for sure. I'm sure everyone else feels the same way out in Packer Universe. Well, we'll get out of here now, but we'll be back this week. Hopefully with a special episode. It's our 300th episode, so please come back. Please check us out. If you're not following us, do so on all the social media networks or here on YouTube if you're watching the YouTube channel. That would be great. But yeah, watch for us this week. Might got something for you. And man, big wild card weekend coming up for the Packers.
Yeah, it'll be fun to preview the game again today with hopefully a great guest we're going to have on this week until our regular 300th episode on the Pup List.